Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another fantastic afternoon here in Alpharetta, Georgia. My name is Tom Badger, joined here by Graham Hadfield, and
My real name.
sometimes we go by F. Dot. Sometimes you go by Hindu Man.
They just change it up every single week. We never know which one it's going to be.
But today, we're here for some exciting stuff. This is the beginning of week number 2 here in the SPL, August 20th, and we've got an exciting matchup starting off for you two today.
Yep, Dignitas up against Titan will be the one we're bringing to you. These two teams have a double header this week, if you look down that list. So it's an important start to the week for them. And obviously, as we go further on, we'll see AFK versus Enemy today as well.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look at Titan versus Dignitas first, which should be very interesting. I've got the EU guy next to me for the European match. We'll be bringing in Kevin Adonis for taking a look at the second one back in North America. Starting things off today with the European vibe, Titan, Dignitas. We put in our predictions this week.
Yep.
Both of us, if you guys didn't catch the show, it's every Wednesday at 4. And just a little recap, both Hinduman and I chose Titan to be our pick for this match. But why don't we talk a little bit about Dignitas since that we picked Titan.
So Dignitas, they went up against Myrmidons last week. Didn't do so well for themselves, dropping 0 and 2 in that matchup. The boys of Dignitas, though, they've got a lot to prove this week. They've got a game against Titan today, and then later on this week they've also got to face off against Justice, who are the newly renamed from Upcoming Stars.
Yeah, I think this matchup will be very difficult for Dignitas, and I haven't counted this team out yet. Shout out to Emir, so incredible in that middle lane, and hi-rez also really stepping it up in the hunter role. And what this team features a lot of is players that previously did well and aren't at the moment. And for that reason, I mean, I'm taking a look at FrostX specifically. You take a look at a player like that, you know what he's capable of, and he's not doing it right now, which is more of a positive than a negative for Dignitas at
Agreed.
home.
I mean, the big thing for Dignitas as well is last time they faced off against Titan, they did lose 0-2 as well. They lost both those games. So going into this one, they've got a lot to prove this season. And let's go on to Titan, honestly, because the boys of Titan, they did well last split. They got themselves the first seed, but the LAN, it wasn't to the expectations they would have wanted for themselves.
Titan wanted to step it up just a little bit. And one thing to note that's different about this squad. Same faces, but different roles. Of course, now you're used to seeing Ataraxia in that solo lane, but it's not a surprise that this team did have a stutter set because of that. And I think right now, here, almost a full split later, we're seeing it level out. I think now we're seeing the results.
I think that's where the key is because during the LAN, what we saw is the Hunter transition where we ran double Hunter for a while has gone away, and Ataraxia's had to go into his god pool now and find other gods that can fit into that role. He's played very safe gods. He's got to adapt that. Comfrey, though, he's done well during the Hunter play so far, so it's more on the look of what can Ataraxia do. He's had a lot of support from Repicast.
Exactly.
Will it continue?
Yeah, so we'll take a look as we get into the picks and bans of the first game. It's Team Dignitas versus Titan on the left and right sides of your screens, respectively. The first ban coming out from Dig will be Bologna.
Yep, Bologna, not a surprise ban from Dignitas. They're looking to draft it or pick it. Last time these two faced, though, Titan banned away Ymir and Athena in both the games they played against each other. And surprisingly, against Fnatic, they did that last week too.
Now, Bologna's been a staple ban for a while. Fenrir is a staple ban pretty much here lately in this split and the finals. This character succeeds both in the jungle, in the solo. I said both, but it's really anywhere on the board.
He can be played anywhere with the power pot start as well. Very strong in the early stages of the game. People started to realize how strong Fenrir actually was. Wukong taken away by Dignitas there. Not a surprise. One of the top picks. And it kind of plays into what sort of style we see from Dignitas, right? They don't really run the Wukong jungle assassins. They're normally looking for a control jungler. And that's why we see the Ymir ban.
Ymir, as you said, fits their style as a team, but it also fits FrostX's personal style. This is really where FrostX made a name for himself on his previous team with that Ymir jungle. So by taking that off the table, Titan's going to force FrostX to find a different character to play. Team Dignitas takes Ares. Now, this is a good character in its own right, but it's really targeted towards a specific player.
It is, and to be fair, Frezzy's very strong on his Ares picks.
Yes.
We've seen him banned away from him as well. The big key about Ares here is what it also does is it makes them look, because previous games they've played against each other, they've looked to ban out Frezzy, stop him being this aggressive character that he likes to be in the support role, take it away from him. This time, though, Ares is going to be here, and in response, though, Titan just looked in Janus and Serqet against it.
Which is interesting, because normally we see Ares really dominate these characters because Janus and Serqet are both characters that succeed by not being crippled.
And that's exactly what Ares does, is cripple you up. So going to be a big ask for Titan by drafting those 2 first picks up against an Ares. Hombat's locked in though for Frostiak in the jungle. We talked about control. Hombat's has mountains of that with that amazing ultimate.
And as does Agni, the most likely mid laner being chosen here for Team Dignitas. Agni is really that sort of middle point. You've got, when you start to think of burst damage, you think Hebo, or more viably Scylla. And when you think control, you think more along the lines of Isis. Agni sits right perfectly in the middle. If you throw 3 bombs out, it is heavy burst, but you're also looking towards that noxious fume stun. So Agni brings a little bit of everything to the table. Sylvanus rounding out the pick phase for Titan.
Interesting ban away with Medusa there. Little shot at Renz. They don't want to see him go for that one, but Comfrey's played a lot of Medusa last split, so to see him ban that one away, it tells me they may be looking for something like Freya potentially in that Hunter role. We've seen it a couple of times.
Now, this Hellband. We saw Hellband out last week, and we saw Hellband out a couple of times, but in a very specific situation against upcoming stars, now known as Justice, their solo laner Sausage, a very prominent Hell player. Now, Hinduman Titan, has Ataraxia been playing Hell? Is this a thing?
Well, Comfrey used to play Hell some, but we've not
Right.
really seen Ataraxia on it. What have we seen from this? Could be some sort of scrim practice where they've noticed this, they've seen and read into what the enemy team's been up to just lately. Maybe Ataraxia's been showing off a little bit of Hell practice in that lane, and it makes sense to ban it away because Hell at the moment is not a bad pick, especially because the early invades don't happen as much.
Right, and Hell's situation has always been if you let her get ahead, that's the end of the game. So banned out because of that, just watching out. Team Dignitas now fully informed. Sun Wukong and Ullr, the Burst Hunter, going to be showing up for Team Dignitas. Ram is the Hunter for Titan, and the last choice is Hades. We've seen Ataraxia play this.
This is what we've seen a lot from Ataraxia, is Hades and a little bit of Chak as well.
But what's that face? Tell me about it.
It's because he just seems so safe, you know?
Okay.
He's gone very safe all the time, Ataraxia. I guess that's what all he's looking to do, is stalemate the lane until he gets more control in it.
Sure.
Hades doesn't really lose lane. Chak doesn't really lose lane. He's picking safeguards where he can't be dominated in. And to really establish himself and for Titan to really get their way all the way to Worlds to a decent position, I mean, the problem is going to be, after that, against tougher opposition, if they ban away Hades, what are we going to see Ataraxia pick?
It is very interesting, and I think the big point to note is that this role swap happened when hunters were really fighting themselves in the jungle. So now that we're seeing different choices, it's up to Ataraxia. He did recently come out and say he hadn't been streaming because he was doing a lot of practice on these new gods. So
and maybe he had the Hell ready for today's game, but they banned it out and they sussed it out already. So he's defaulted to Hades. It's not a bad pick. I'm not trying to put it down by it. We saw Mogows last week. Like, Hades is a disgusting pick, but you've got to see how it's going to work out.
Hades can be so potent, especially as a follow-up initiate, which is a really big point that this team is going to have. You'll have that Wrath of Terror coming out from the Sylvanus, and then Hades shows up secondary with the Pillar of Agony, and that can just tear teams apart. So watch out for that 1-2 combination as we see teams sort of get ready to start the game.
So we could actually saw last week as well, just to be clear, Fnatic up against Fnatic Titan were first pick both games, and took first pick. Dignitas, second pick both games last week, and they've defaulted to that again. I suspect after next game as well, we'll probably see them on exactly the same side of the map, because generally they get an opportunity to switch. And we'll see them stick to these options that they've gone for.
Well, Titan has started in the mid camps, and that's going to be a good look for Titan. Now, we've seen a number of different starts, most notably the Paradigm and AFK start, but mid-camp started by Titan this time around.
Yeah, started by Titan this time around, and now you're actually going to see a fast, speedy transition to mid lane there for the Agni as well, to make sure he can get the burst on quicker. So Shadow Nightmare trying to give himself a bit of an opportunity with that one on that side. I just realized the names were backwards. It should actually be Titan of the red side, and Team Dignitas should be the blue side as we look at the map now. But it's fine, we'll work that one out. As left-hand side, Renz jumps back. I got all excited. I was like, hey, I predicted that first and second pick. Nope, they've switched completely.
Everything being
Great
thrown
pull.
for a loop, a pull and a kill. Godfrey starting things off hot in the first minute of this contest. First blood goes to Titan.
And that's just a simple rinse-repeat pickup, right? I mean, all he had to do was hit the root, hit the pull, jobs are good, and down you go.
Mid lane also seeing some trouble, and another kill going to Titan, this time on the jungler, Repicas, using that double dash out of Serqet.
This is a really good start for Titan. Now, they're going to be able to abuse the situation because the red buff is still up. It wasn't started at the beginning of the game because they did a fast rotation. But now, because middle lane's winning and dual lane are winning, they can rotate in and steal away that red buff. Did he actually secure that? No, I got excited for a second.
Now, you always hear commentators and sort of the talking heads of the scene talk about how Titan is so cohesive as a unit. This is why we say that. Immediately, both mid lane jungle and the two people in the long lane rotate to red instantaneously. I'm sure they mentioned it in comms, Hindu Man.
They did.
But they moved that. Well, they moved before that was set.
That's the key, though, is that right at the beginning of the game, what would have happened is Pretty Prime would have gone mid and go, he's not got red buff.
Yep.
He's got to mid before me, which means he's done X start. They know this by the timings of people getting to lane, and they abused it.
One more time. This could be death, and it is. Repicos picks up his second kill on the Egyptian assassin, looking very, very strong. Titan is, in just the second minute, 3 kills on their side.
This is not a good start for Team Dignitas at all. Their duo lane is in trouble over there as well.
Hades is pushing up as well.
Hades is pushing up naturally, but like Ares can't do a lot in this situation here. They're looking for some extra damage. They won't find the pull, but keep that pressure on. Ares from behind is very, very difficult to play. He's okay even, but behind is the biggest issue.
I mean, because one of the big things that Ares offers is dominance by way of power and magical damage, and when you're behind, it's harder to really dish that out.
Well, it's all about his damage, but he's got to get in quite close to do it. He's got to land the chains and then stick with them once the chains are applied. If he's getting pressured like this, there's not a lot he can do. Ren's behind in this lane trying to farm what he can. They're not going to get any jungle support now because Frostiak is 0-2.
One shining side that is for Team Dignitas is that the team does have the Transcendence being built on their Hunter. Ullr with the Transcendence will be able to clear the wave relatively easy with Bladed Arrow and a little help from his Hail of Arrows.
Oh, great ultimate coming out from Ataraxia there in the solo. Going to force Variety's ultimate. He's going to regen, but he's very low on mana here, Variety, so not going to see any aggression. They do get those left-hand Harpies, however, which will give him a little bit of experience. They're now level 5 finally. Frostiak is 0-1. I did get that wrong when I said 0-2 because it was Agni that died the first time.
Now, level 5 for Team Dignitas is very important, much more so than Serqet. You saw the damage that comes out. Cobra's Kiss can change the fight, and then Deathbane obviously picked up 2 kills already. Batz doesn't have that luxury. He's all about fear no evil, and Agni, as any player, even at a casual level, is a different god. 1 through 4, 5 through 12.
Oh, there's an ultimate in mid lane into the fear no evil. Nicely used from Frostiak to zone them away. Prime being forced back as Repi committed fully. There's minions though, so there'll be no more aggression.
Dignitas there sort of split their attention. I think if both characters attacked the same, they would have been in a better spot. Blink in from Ares, nothing to obtain.
Still got ultimate. He's still got ultimate. He's trying to burn him, just get some damage off. There's no point trying to use the no escape there from Ares because immediately you'll just see Wrath of Terror. They got very lucky then because Kanye Life was looking for a blink. Minions got him into combat though, couldn't find it.
Right-hand Harpies cleaned up on the side of Titan, so another small win for the red team. Team Dignitas did get the left-hand Harpies, so little light in the darkness for Team Dignitas. And Ataraxia going to be pressuring onto the enemy blue buff.
Steal it away, and they can even look for the speed buff if they're aware of it. They could go and have a little nosy, but nope, going to return to lane and continue the pressure. Little look at Comfrey here, though. He went Death's Toll straight into Warrior Tabby for the power. No stacking item just yet.
Very interesting. A lot of times we see the two main builds that we see are Devo's Gloves or Transcendence, both of which stack stacks. So you like to get those on earlier as possible. Seeing the boots built first, Hindu Man, I'm curious if we'll see a Soul Eater.
A Soul Eater? Potentially. I mean, Soul Eater has started to come in. People are starting to realize it's very good at box potential as well. Gives you some decent life and attack speed. They're looking for the gank onto Frezzy though. And when you're in Ares, all you can really do is run.
Ares got no other buttons to press, and he'll fall down to Confrey there. One more kill for the Titan squad. That's 4-0.
Just good map awareness from Kanye to realize he could just swing around the back, see if there's an opportunity. There was no wards down for Team Dignitas there, so there was nothing, they didn't see it coming.
Exactly, and as we said, Ares doesn't really have any jumps or whatnot, and that was a fantastic gank by the support. But as we take a look, as we ride along with the Batz, let's look at our jungle comparison. Frostiak on the side of Team Dignitas has yet to find a win, whereas Repicos on the right-hand side, well, he's split down the middle.
If you look at the actual KDA there as well, Frostiak has already fallen this game 0.8 to deaths, and then meanwhile 5-1 is Repicos right now. That's a huge margin as a jungler. Now,
what I'm looking at here is the Alpha Draft numbers. If you aren't on alphadraft.com, that's well and good, but you understand the concept of fantasy points. Repicos is 10 higher than his opponent.
Talking about Repicos, now he's looking for Agni, going to find the all-wombo combo win. Shadow Nightmare is going to die, but he got some great damage off. Can the monkey secure it?
Ares will
he
not
will
get
not.
the chain, just a hair off his Frezzy, and Titan pick up another kill. Dignitas has yet to find an answer.
Love the rotation from Ataraxia there. He realized there was an opportunity to potentially come around the back if they aggressed any further. Didn't lose anything, didn't gain anything really.
Sure.
And the best news is he actually pushed out the mid wave, so even though his mid had to go back, it's safe to farm.
So unfortunate for Batz. I'm feeling it, and it's just really unfortunate because that was a great play. Just a little bit too far behind. And as we ride along with Confrey, we take a look at his items. He is going that Soul Eater build.
So Soul Eater is starting to come into the play now more because we can see it gives you health, it gives you an aura as well. The aura actually provides to the rest of your teammates on top of that. And it actually trades out very well in the majority of 1v1 situations. It's very, very effective. We will see it more and more through play. Will we see it from other teams? Well, to be fair, I thought Titan's one of those teams that does it all the time. They try and invent new things.
Exactly. I mean, this item, it's very, very good. How does it compare to Devo's gloves?
It's 20 damage less, I believe, is the numbers. Just
right.
Base damage less. I mean, you get different stats on it compared to what you get from the other ones, but the benefits, once you work out all the math over it, it should be about 20 damage.
Yeah, it's about 20 damage, and more notably, you get the health, you get all the defensive stats, so we are seeing sort of a shift. You lose some, but not enough
well,
to
you gain
offset
health. You gain
exactly.
300 health. So yeah, you lose 20 damage on your auto attacks, but then if you can take an extra 3 auto attacks yourself, you should be okay.
In comes the blink Serqet. What a crazy mobile god we have here. The dash is strong, but not strong enough to secure the kill. Wukong goes one way, and the rest of the team goes the other. Titan will meet up with the mid laner, and the threat of Agni is good enough. Team Dignitas forces the enemy out.
Good action from Renz there, forcing the beads on Comfrey, who's fighting in a minion wave there. Needs to realize he's up against a full minion wave of archers at only level 10. They will brutally hurt you, and if he lands a full combo, Renz there, the Transcendence combo, that hurts.
Serqet forced out a little bit. 4 members of Team Dignitas on the right-hand side. Titan can capitalize with a Gold Fury if they have the information. Ares just caught on the screen, but Titan look like they want to make the aggressive rotation.
Well, it's Ares. He has to be aggressive. You've got to keep looking for the picks to get himself back in the game if he can. Great follow-up pull by Kanye there. He's got no follow-up, though, because Unstable Vortex was just used, but it was a good poke damage. And here's the issue for Dignitas now. They're 5-0 down. The gold lead is around 2,500 already in their favor. And if you look at the experience, you can also see everybody's up on the side of Titan right now.
Shadow Nightmare are going to pick up these backhand camps that'll just force it, that'll get a little bit more farm onto him. As we said, he's got 2 kills. Pretty Prime doesn't, he's got 2 deaths. Pretty Prime not the killer in those situations, but does have the assist for being around when Replicas really did the work.
So the plan here from Team Dignitas is to slow the game down just a little bit, to give them a hair's breadth to catch up a little bit more in terms of the level so they can actually trade out. Because what they're looking for is the Batz ultimate to go off, followed by the Ares ultimate after the beads have been used, or vice versa. Both of those work very well in conjunction and set each other up. On top of that, you're going to have Shadow Nightmare in the background dropping bombs. It should be effective, but they've got to wait out a few more levels.
Dignitas will get a small victory here and take out a ward that Titan has placed, and we have a pause by Frostiac, so Team Dignitas have a little bit of trouble on their end. They're going to clean things up, and we'll get back into the game right away. But so, you mentioned it before, Team Dignitas really looking to slow this game down. They want to slow the pace, I think they've already accomplished that. They've stopped the heavy snowball that was coming out of Titan as we come back inside, but do they want to slow it even more, or are they looking to just plateau?
Well, let's look at late game from these two teams. If you look at Replicas on Serqet, Serqet becomes a one-trick pony, so to speak, in the late stages of the game. Batz, however, in the jungle, which we looked at the jungle comparison earlier, Batz is effective all stages of the game, and when he gets crit online, he can annihilate a person single-handedly with just 1 ultimate and 1 auto attack. Yeah,
they auto attack largely off of the passive, giving Batz a large percentage of crit after using an ability. So
30% extra crit on top of whatever he gets from items too is very, very effective.
So when you're at this level of play, you really get to see these Batz players weave those basics in between the abilities and wreak havoc. So keep an eye out for that. And as I always say, Batz doesn't fall off because Fear No Evil is always powerful.
Kanye and Comfrey were feeling themselves there, but the
Split
Fear
up.
No Evil is going to destroy Kanye life. The Wisps will heal him for a second, but Frosty's going to continue the chase. Comfrey, though, and support from the mid and jungle are here.
Titan comes and gets a kill off of the rotation. One more time. Ullr's alone, but he will be fine. Godfrey's in the air.
Great blink. Can he find the second blink? Oh, no, not the second blink, but the second juke. He find all three, actually. Comfrey could not find those shots. Frezzy with a bit of individual skill there.
Team Dignitas completely earned that kill. Finally on the scoreboard is a yellow and black, and it's because of how they positioned. They split up the duo lane, and Titan is going to look at the goal.
I mean, they look at the Gold Fury. Variety's over in the solo lane right now, so he's not going to be here. Janus on zoning duty with the support of Repicast to keep them out as we tune in with Frezzy for a second there. Rent has got to try and make a play here. He does have the burst potential, but the Gold Fury is already done.
Just a little bit too slow. Well, I don't even want to say Dignitas was too slow. Titan did a great job of zoning there, making sure that their opponent could not come up.
Can Variety get that tower there? If he can, it makes it worthwhile, I feel. The Gold Fury, it doesn't give maximum amount of gold anymore for the same thing. There's a big no escaping mid lane. He's got backup of the ultimate from Batz potentially available, but immediate use of the ultimate from hi-rez.
Yeah, it's an ultimate for an ultimate right there. You could split hairs and talk about which one is going to impact the team fights a little bit more. Both about even, but right-hand side, as you said, Variety picks up the solo lane tower, which still behind in gold, but that is a good swing for our team Dignitas right here.
Now you can see where it dropped down on the graph there and then came back up to this 3.3 now that they took that tower. That tower was worth 500, 100 gold each to each of the members as well. So
ultimate.
It's not so bad, but this is a big play for the right-hand side, looking for Variety.
They're going to try and find these players. Titan has used the Janus ultimate and committed. Blink into the portal, shot by the Unstable Vortex. Will unfortunately miss, but we've still got more action. Batz drops the ult. Wukong in the cloud.
Good work from Dignitas, though, to survive that. Variety took beads, which is something that you don't often see on some Wukong. I think in this matchup where he's got to deal with silence and the Serqet ultimate as well, it's a good decision to pick that one up, and it's helped him out in that one to survive. They may lose this tower in trade node now because they've both had to base, and nobody's here to defend.
So Titan takes the tower in the solo lane in response to Team Dignitas taking the tower first. Titan 6-1, still leading by 5 kills, but more importantly, leading by about 4,000 gold this early on as we approach the 13th minute of this game 1.
Now, if we look at the actual gold difference between the two players as well, we can see 1,000 of that gold is on Comfrey alone. And then the biggest difference I can really see is about 1,300 in favor of Repicast there. Yep, as we can see on the charts there, how far ahead they are with that. Now, we did get a kill from Comfrey onto Renz in 2v1 because Kanye was over there in support. And now the boys of Titan, they've got this game by the scruff of the neck right now. If they continue just pressuring this, they could choke the life out of Dignitas early.
And the pressure in the long lane is going to continue. Off of the kill onto the Hunter, we're going to see Comfrey take this tower almost undoubtedly so. No one in a Dignitas uniform is on the left-hand side of the map. This is all Titan's tower right after they took the solo.
And they don't have the mobility either. The only mobility they've really got is the teleport and Variety here to try and swing over here. Comfrey may get this tower, but he may die for it.
Exactly. Dignitas is going to make this rotation, and by just the rotation alone, they will chase off Team Dignitas' Hunter. So Comfrey just barely going to leave that tower alive. Ares pull gets no one, but the Wrath of Terra knocks Ares up. Now separated from the rest of his team. Fear no evil going on in the back. Pretty Prime by himself, but so is Ares. Now all of a sudden, Dignitas has the upper hand. In comes the axe. The Sylvanus is going nowhere, and the shot to kill him comes out of Variety, the solo laner, making the rotation, claiming the second kill for Team Dignitas.
Frostiak made the play of plays there, honestly. Frezzy went in, did all the hard work. Frostiak did his zoning duty. He took Pretty Prime out of that fight, zoned him away with the ultimate, and allowed him to pick up that kill onto the tree. Unfortunately, there's nothing for them to develop from this. Otherwise, they're in trouble.
Ataraxia grouping everybody up, claims the kill of the support inside of the Pillar of Agni. Diving the tower, not quite. Ullr in a little bit of trouble. Comfrey will take down this structure and look to take down his opponent as well. In the same time, rolls forward. One shot, one more shot is all Ullr needs. Try to build up, not quite. Comfrey gets the slaughter, 9-2.
When you can fire the arrow through the whole minion wave and through the god and into the tower, it's not a bad day's work, and Renz did not respect how much damage you could see put out.
Now, one of the things that we see a lot of is players taking the shot instead of giving the tower damage to the player. What happens is not only do you block the actual damage onto the tower, but you also force the tower to attack the opponent. It doesn't work against Ram. Astral arrows go through you and still hit the tower.
Well,
so in that situation, Confrey got both.
Exactly, and the tower does still do damage to him, but
Sure.
with that Soul Eater as well, giving him a little bit of extra health along with that Death's Toll, they're going to be effective enough to be able to continue the pressure. Renz didn't expect as much burst as he did, especially because Igfal was just finished as well.
Confrey also understanding that that tower needed 3-4 basic attacks at most with his full wave of minions to really fall, so able to take that intelligently against his enemy Hunter, winds up getting him not just the tower but also the kill. Titan looking very strong today.
Good tagline for the boys of Titan right now. 4-0-1 I believe on Repicast and 4-0-1 on Comfrey. So we see the graphs there, 5.1k gold, 9,500 experience in the lead. They are at 16 minutes in. This game is looking tough for Dignitas to get back in. I said if they can get to late game though,
Sure.
they're looking stronger. They still have those two big ultimates of No Escape and Fear No Evil, but I don't see Titan making the mistake of grouping up for it.
And not to mention, Titan also, Repicas in the late game is going to be an absolute terror. Ram is no slouch in the late game either. Keeps bringing the damage out of those in-hands and the ultimates that come out of the Hindu Hunter. So Titan and Dignitas have a rough match ahead of them. Frezzy gets portaled.
Unstable Vortex, going to force the No Escape, only going to hit Kanye, but Rapid Terror is ready to respond. Frezzy's going to fall down again. They wasted a couple of ultimates on him. Fear No Evil from Frostiak at the backside, but all he's doing is taking pain.
In the air is Ram, gets one, gets the second for the kill, off of the assist of Ataraxia, corralling the opponent with that Pillar of Agni. The tower shot will claim the life of Ataraxia though. Renz gets credit for that one. Up in the air is Wukong, and Titan are very present in this middle lane.
Ataraxia did great work there. Variety tried to support too, but
Reppy
now
in
they're
the
going to have
back.
to back off. The pull does not connect.
Reppy in the back.
I don't think he's going to go in here unless he
Reppy
stick
in the
around.
back, they're going to take out the tower, and Repicas is going to look to take out the team. Cobra's Kiss is good on the back of Confrey. Everyone's going to be all right.
Get out. They do get the tower though, which is important for them. So they're going
That's-
to continue extending the map pressure, let alone the gold advantage. Renz does not find that axe for the time being. I'm talking about Renz, let's have a look at the Hunter comparison, because right now, Confrey, the new boy to an extent in this role for Titan. He's doing a great job. He's 1.8 on KDA up against 1.1 from Renz. 0-2 1-1.
This is the game that's really solidifying that the role swap has done its baking and its learning period. Largely, it was a summer split that we saw this team Titan really learn how to work in the different roles. Confrey now looks very, very comfortable, very, very strong, and I think it's now time to really give this team credit where it's due.
I think
Confrey is the hunter.
Yeah, I mean, Confrey in that Hunter role has adapted well. He's fully in that role. Ataraxia's always been the question mark for me.
Sure.
And I'm pretty sure he'd be okay with me saying, we've not seen a big god pool out of him. And that's a worry for me for the Titan boys going forward into the rest of the season.
Well, if
Has he
he's
got
going to
more?
drop Pillars of Agonies to control the players for those Rom snipes, that's all I need to see.
I guess.
That's all I need to see. And right now, Frezzy needs to see an exit, not going to be able to find it. Kill goes to Kanye Life off of the dot of Wrath of Terra. Fantastic play coming
Big
out
issues
from
for
all
Frezzy in this game. He's not played badly. He's just had his Hunter got picked at the start of the game for the first blood, and now he's having a hard time getting in there and being effective.
Titan's going to look at this Gold Fury, and now I'm questioning the choice of the ultimate out of Kanye Life. Ares was going to die. Did he have to drop the ultimate? Not too sure about that one. Might be a problem when Team Dignitas comes to contest this gold.
Well, the gold is very, very low. Renz has actually pulled it back in as the Fear No Evil hits
Frostiak.
Frostiak on the backside. Does leap away.
Dignitas!
They do get the Gold Fury, but will they lose lives?
Ram's up in the air, going to try and make his opponent pay. Pretty Prime picks one up. That's Ullr's death. And Pretty Prime comes through the portal from all the way on the other side. Confrey checking his 6. Going to look towards this tower. Titan very, very strong in this long lane.
Very lucky they don't have minions over there. As Frezzy does respawn, get the chains off into Reppy, but that kiss will send him back to give his
Here's
friend
the rest
monkey
of Titan.
a kiss. And the monkey's going to have to go in deep and try and get out, but he's not going to find it as Kanye with the wisps will get the kill.
Frezzy gets a pull, and the Jingle Bang will hit multiple players, but all of a sudden, Frezzy surrounded by people that aren't his friends. Titan looking at the jungle camp instead of the Ares.
Not looking for the Ares for the time being. Variety's going to go in with that Tiger Stance. Doesn't find Pretty Prime, who does use it through space and time to get out. The fight, honestly, I'm pretty sure that went even. The Gold Fury went to Dignitas, but a couple of kills went in favor of Titan there and that buff in the jungle. So it kind of trades out.
Huge play by Team Dignitas' jungler Frostiak, dropping that Fear No Evil in the back. quite literally forced Titan off of the gold, allowed Dignitas to pick it up and then eventually kill it, getting them the Gold Fury, which is a large boon for them. There's Team Dignitas still behind by a number of thousands. Taking a look, it's probably about 4,000 or 5,000 gold.
There we go, 5,500. Experience though, 12,000. That's a lot at 20 minutes in. And it's going to become more of an issue as these levels start ticking up to 20. That's when all your skills as standard do their maximum damage without even applying items to it either. And cooldowns too.
14-3, read the kills as we approach our 21st minute here in the first game of 2 Titan versus Team Dignitas. We'll take a look at the player damage, and no surprise there, Hinuman Confrey has been tearing this whole map up.
Keep an eye on that Frostiak though, and that Renz. They're starting to climb up. They're catching up with that hi-rez, which is good news for them. And this is what we were talking about, is at the moment, they've stemmed the flow a little bit. They've only lost their outer tier 1 towers. These tier 2 standing are very important for them. If they start to hemorrhage these, it's when the game is pretty much in the bag for Titan. Good pull. Straight in from onto Variety. He's half health already. He's not going to use the Cloud though, which is very wise, but he's got it at half health already.
That is very smart, understanding just how tanky he is. Confrey going to be looking at this right-hand side. Blink to the wall, and the shot from Virginia. Pretty Prime gets the kill off of the ultimate from the other side of the world. 15th kill for Titan.
I just said about hemorrhaging towers. The hemorrhage that left one and lost a life with it. The blinking from Ataraxi is going to zone Shadow Nightmare away. They're zoning the whole all the boys of Dignitas back now as they're looking for this tier 2 Frost. He's going to go in and try and make something happen.
Before the Wrath of Terror could come out, the Fear No Evil comes out. Fantastic play coming out. Titan doing work on this second tier tower. Ataraxia corralling everybody in the middle. Confrey gets the kill off of another hi-rez assist. Titan looking so clean.
And now they're going to pressure the tier 2 tower again. Confrey's going to be bringing that one down with the in-hands.
Just missed.
Sikani looking for the root one more time as the unstable Vortex did connect with Variety on the backside.
In trouble.
He wants the monkey, and he's got him. No, he doesn't. A
poison? Fine, says no, Pretty Prime. Replicas gets denied. Pretty Prime blinks right in and cleans up what his jungler could not finish. I was just about to say how well Frostiak was playing this game. And to his credit, that wasn't, I mean, fantastic play by Pretty Prime right into man, but the shining light here for Team Dignitas is Frostiak. Unfortunately, Batz, not a hyper carry. He's there to assist the rest of the team. He will deal damage. Yeah. Overhand smash is nuts.
I mean, he can become a hyper carry, but against the lineup he's against, he's going to be a tough ask, especially when they've all got beads as well.
He's just not a Freya. He's not a Kali. I don't know if he's able to really lift his team up like these other choices
and carry them. And the biggest issue for Dignitas here is there was 0-5 early on in this game. Duo fell behind for first blood, then mid lane fell behind, and jungle fell behind.
Right.
And from then, it's always been this game of can we catch up? Can we hold on and bring this one back into it? And Titan, they've not really given them an opportunity.
And those are the games that are going to give your jungler the most trouble. Those are the games that it's not the jungler's fault, because when the lanes are losing early on, it's really tough as a jungler to really provide triage.
Variety forced to beads there early, gonna use the Ox stance from transformations to try and get out, but the burst is too much. As Confrey came out there and got a nice crit on the back of it.
Not able to get in the ultimate, and since the animals were down, trouble with the bird. Ox on cooldown, so no escape for Sun Wukong. Titan, 4 members deep by this Fire Giant. Pretty Prime lurking just on the left side of your screen. Here he is, and they're going to start the objective.
They're giving it up. There's nobody in a position to try and defend this yet. Aries the furthest forward, and he's doing back hop. He's with Frostiak there, so I don't think Titan are going to get contested whatsoever.
Well, 30 seconds ago, Titan cleaned up the wards. There's no vision from Dignitas here on this side.
They know what's going on, though. That's the thing. Where's everybody gone? Fire Giant, maybe? Shopping?
Information by lack of information.
Exactly. That's why it can happen sometimes. So, Dignitas this game, they've got to try and pull something out of the bag. It's going to be a big ass this time, man. Look at all the wards going on. See how Confrey just placed a ward behind him. His team doesn't even have teleport, but he put that ward there so he can see vision for a retreat and try and do a bait if something goes wrong in this engagement. Some of those little things you don't think about.
Titans got the Fire Giant around their waist. Tier 2, intelligently given up by Team Dignitas. There's going to be a defensive set right here as Titan pours into the right-hand Phoenix. It looks like Team Dignitas don't want to defend the right. They want to defend the middle.
Frezzy and Frostiak have to combine here soon. They've got to go for the big ult plays, force the beads in the first one, and then go in with the second one, and hope some magic happens. Because if they don't, they're going to lose one of these Phoenixes. Titan being
Well,
wise,
the Right's
though.
already down.
Well, Titan's being wise because they're splitting up, and that's why they've got that Phoenix. Because if the whole team's not grouped, how can they do this initiation they want?
But the split up is what Team Dignitas wants. They want to catch a single player out of position. That's how they win these fights.
If they catch a single player out of position, the rest of the team will destroy them. There's
Wicked.
the flick initiation. No escape's going to pull nobody because the all beads. And there's a great Ataraxia roll to hold him in place for the first kill.
Up in the air is Confree. Gets him with the second shot. Third one, inconsequential. But the second was all he needed to take out Shadow Nightmare's Agni.
Yep, looks like that should be the second Phoenix in the middle, but Frostiak going to come in with a Fear No Evil there, forcing them away if he can, but he's not got much damage online to kill anybody, has to disengage, and Confree rolls in to bring down his life.
Again, unfortunate end for Frostiak on the side of Team Dignitas, but fantastic teleport to get out of the middle of everything. You know, Frostiak was really the player that I wanted to see more of last week, Hindu Man. I'm seeing it here. Unfortunately for his squad, Titan showed up in spades, and the Titan will fall, going the way of the red team. Titan takes game one in our first set of the Game 2 match.
Nice clean performance from Titan is all I can really say there. No discredit to Dignitas on that one. It felt like Titan was just on the warpath from the moment that game launched.
Yeah, as I said before in the broadcast, I mean, you hear all of the talking heads here mention how Titan plays so well as a team. This is the match that you watch to see that. They were like ants. Every time you saw a single member of Titan, there was 3 or 4 more members lurking in the wings.
The early game was just too much for Dignitas to come back from. Variety didn't have a bad game in the solo as some Wukong. No real mistakes there. First blood, however, did happen in the duo lane.
It did, and it went the way of Titan, looking very strong. Confree started this game off with a statement. They'll slink back here.
So what we'll see is the pick is actually onto Ullr, and it's the root pole that came out from Kanye. Now, the reason they slink back is because the minion wave's there, A, and on top of that is that they just saw the leap from Ren. So if Ren comes any more forward, if they can find that pick, they get the kill, and that's exactly what happened.
Ullr unable to really escape there in that situation, and Confree really making a statement, not just with that first blood, but also the way that he shoveled out those Ram snipes. Because of that, he earns a superlative player of the game, looking absolutely fantastic in this first one. 10 kills, 0 deaths.
7 assists on top of that too. But I mean, for me, the play for me was when he 1v1 Rens, lost the trade back top, and then next time round, 1v1 under the tower, brings him down as well as the tower. And the snipes were pretty on point today.
Now that combination is, I absolutely loved it. Ataraxia routinely dropped the Hades ult to control the opponent, and then Confree just rained hell on top of them. And I mean, didn't always need the Hades, as we saw. Confree completely changes targets, takes one out unassisted. Confree looking like a true hunter.
He's really finding his feet in this hunter role now as well. I mean, time and time again, we've seen him start with Medusa. He's played some Neath as well. Now onto Rama, where he's showing off his strength as well. Great work from him.
I mean, he's looking like hunter is his natural position.
Agreed.
And it's been a while, and I think with the entirety of the summer split in the books, he's really made the statement, and now he's here to play hunter. Alpha Draft top performers at the bottom of your screen right there. No surprise, it's all Titan. The squad looked so strong. Only 3 kills on the side of Team Dignitas.
And the MVP, as you saw, top of the pile there as well. I believe it's 46 points for him. Ataraxia at the bottom, though, didn't have a bad game. Played Hades.
Ataraxia did exactly what the solo lane for Titan is supposed to do. Hades didn't get all the kills. Hades didn't have these amazing Mogao death from belows, but what he did do, he used the ultimate to set up kills, not only just from Confree, but for the rest of Titan as well.
Zone control was the big key there. What I would like to see from Dignitas this game, though, is maybe mix it up a bit. They chose that Ares first pick. It's not worked out for them because dual lane didn't do great.
Sure.
I think things could have been differently if Frezzy got off to a good foot. If dual lane got off to a good foot, Frezzy could have influenced the game a little bit more, especially with mid and jungle being behind. But when that 3, the mid, jungle, and support are all in bad situations, it's very difficult to come back from. And when you're against Titan, that's where they excel, is those 3.